What's up guys, today's video I am gonna do a detailed review and pick the top 5 best 2-in-1 students laptops 2022. After doing proper researches, we came to the conclusion that meets the best in terms of overall. Kindly leave a like if you find this helpful, and I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel and turn on post notifications if you haven't. We will be also providing affiliates link to purchase from Amazon. Kindly use to for best offers and purchase from anywhere in the world. We'll be back with more videos. Lenovo is not a new name in the laptop segment, and neither is it new to the 2-in-1 space. The iconic Yoga series from Lenovo is known for its design. The Lenovo Flex 5 is an attempt to bring the goodness of the Yoga series, which is basically a 2-in-1 form factor, to a more affordable segment. Let's start off with the color here. The Lenovo IdeaPad Flex 5 comes in the Sol Graphite Gray color option. This color looks classy and looks premium in the first look itself. It has a soft touch finish with metallic coating on the front with small metal Lenovo branding placed towards the right, while the rest of the area remains plain. Opening up the laptop, you will be greeted with a 14-inch screen, keyboard and trackpad combo along with 2 front-firing speakers. Right below the keyboard, you will find the fingerprint scanner. The machine comes with 360-degree rotatable hinge, which is built fairly well and sturdy material. The laptop weighs 1.5 kilograms and has a thickness of 17.9 millimeters. This combo is considered as a thin and light laptop. While we do agree that as a laptop, this is definitely light, but as a tablet, this feels quite heavy. So, it's better to use it in the tent mode as I did. The high mechanism is quite smooth and I did not have any issues. Lenovo claims that the hinge can survive up to 25,000 opening and closing actions over a course of 4 years, which is 17 times a day on average. On the left of the laptop, there is a barrel charging port, HDMI 1.4b port, USB-C port with power delivery certification, and microphone combo jack. The Lenovo Yoga 9i is a very sleek and lustrous 2-in-1, but Lenovo offers an even more attractive model than our silver review unit. The Shadow Black edition offers a dark metal chassis, hence the name, with the option of adding a leather case. However, the Yoga 9i that we reviewed features a mica aluminum chassis, and the differences between it and the Shadow Black model are not insignificant. The Shadow Black's glass palm rest covers the entire keyboard deck, and packs an embedded fingerprint sensor and a haptic touchpad. Going back to the model we tested, its lid bears a chrome Yoga logo, which shines in the light to show off brand. Just as I was about to open the laptop, I was met with another logo etched ever so slightly on the edge of the lid, reading Yoga 9 series, a neat little touch. The interior of the laptop keeps with the same sleek design as the outside, with some noticeable differences of course. The bezels to the sides of the glass touchscreen are both very thin, while the bezel on top expands in the middle to give more room for the webcam, and the bottom bezel sits as the largest. Below the screen, on the hinge, is the soundbar which rotates with the screen. The keyboard itself is a decent size, with thin keys, and located below is the touchpad. The Yoga 9i is pretty thin, at just 12.6 by 8.5 by 0.6 inches, and weighing 3 pounds. The Laptop Studio's top half is only a little bit thicker than a normal laptop lid, but otherwise is completely normal when using it as a typical laptop. The main hinge is stiff and doesn't wobble, a common problem with Microsoft's older Surface Book design, but you can still open it with one finger easily. The magnesium and aluminum chassis is sturdy and well made, with nary a flex to be found. The Laptop Studio's design is also sturdier feeling and more stable than the typical convertible laptop with a 360-degree hinge. It has options for more powerful components than you typically find in a convertible laptop or Microsoft's own thin and light Surface Pro 8, as well. The screen is a 14.4-inch touch display, with 2400 by 1600 pixels and a 120 Hz refresh rate. It's bright and color accurate, just like other Surface displays, and it's large enough to comfortably split the screen between multiple windows using Windows 11's new Snap layouts. The 120 Hz refresh rate provides much smoother scrolling with the cursor, better touch interactions, and reduced latency with pen input. The Surface Signature 3:2 aspect ratio makes working with documents and browsing websites more comfortable, but it also gives the Laptop Studio a footprint that's almost as big as a 15-inch laptop. At over 4 pounds and 0.7 inches thick, this isn't exactly an ultra-portable laptop, but it's not a huge chore to lug around, either. Pulling the screen forward is a bit awkward. You have to reach up and bend the top half backward until the magnets holding the bottom half in place release, and then you can bring it closer to you. You can then park it halfway across the deck, tenting it above the keyboard, but still providing access to the trackpad. Magnets in the deck grab the edge of the screen to lock it in place. I struggled to find a good use case for this mode other than watching movies on an airplane tray table or poking around on the touchscreen, as the angle of the display is still too vertical to comfortably write on it with a pen. From the tent position, you can then lift the screen up and flatten it down entirely, turning the computer into an awkward and heavy tablet. This mode makes sense for drawing or writing. The screen is flat and it's easy to lean over it and start working with a pen. The Surface Pro 8, luckily, brings some much-needed design improvements to the table. The easiest one to notice is the new graphite color, which simply looks incredible. While it seems like Microsoft has been focusing on lighter shades for its devices in recent years, the darker colors with this year's lineup look incredible. The chassis is also refined, with more rounded edges, that seem much more comfortable to hold for long periods of time, rather than the flat sides with sharper corners. Bezels are also smaller than ever, and this is that final thing that makes the Surface Pro 8 look like an all-new device, rather than a relic from the early 2010s. It makes the screen look so much bigger, and makes the device look more premium than ever, which is good, because it's also more expensive than ever. The smaller bezels do more than just look good, though, they allow for an 11% larger display. The Surface Pro 8 now has a 13-inch Pixel Sense display with a resolution of 2880 by 1920. That's right in the middle of 1440p and 4K, but for a 13-inch display, it's absolutely gorgeous. What makes this display even better is that along with the bigger size, it also has a 120Hz refresh rate. This is definitely not a gaming device, but take it from us, once you use a high refresh display, even for everyday computing, you're not going to want to go back. The display is configured to 60Hz out of the box, mainly in the interest of boosting battery life, but you can enable it at any time by going into your display settings. With a device that's meant to be as portable as the Surface Pro 8, performance is always a difficult balance to strike. You want it to be fast, but you don't want to push it so hard that battery life goes down the toilet and it becomes too hot to handle. Microsoft has apparently put a lot of effort into re-engineering the internals of the Surface Pro 8, and it allowed the company to configure the processor with a higher TDP than past versions of the tablet, boosting it to 23 watts instead of the 15 watts of the Surface Pro 7's processor. The HP Spectre line is second to none when it comes to design, and this latest model is no exception. Like its 13-inch predecessor, the Spectre X36014 is made of CNC machined aluminum. Also like its siblings, you can get the 14 in Nightfall Black, Poseidon Blue, or Natural Silver. Take a look at some pictures before selecting your color because they each have pretty different vibes. The Nightfall Black option has a sophisticated, svelte aesthetic that looks tailor-made for a boardroom. Poseidon Blue is friendlier and probably the one I'd go for myself. The accents, though, are what make the Spectre stand out from the legions of other black laptops out there. Lustrous trim borders the lid, the touchpad, and the deck. The hinges share its color, as does the HP logo on its lid. It's bold without being obnoxious. The two rear corners are diamond-shaped, and one of them houses a Thunderbolt 4 port on its flat edge. On the sides live an audio jack, a USB-A, a microSD slot, and an additional Thunderbolt 4, which is a decent selection. Gone is the trapdoor that covered the USB-A port on the 13-inch model, and the edges are all beveled, making the notebook appear thinner than it actually is. It's 0.67 inches thick. Careful craftsmanship is evident here. I'm not exaggerating when I say this Spectre feels like artwork. And, as the X360 moniker implies, the Spectre is a 2-in-1. At 2.95 pounds, it's a bit heavy to use as a tablet for long periods, but it's smooth and easy to fold and the hinges are quite sturdy. Unlike with many convertibles, there's barely any wobble when you use the touchscreen. The display is also stylus compatible. The Spectre ships with HP's MPP 2.0 pen, which attaches magnetically to the side of the chassis. Despite its design similarities, this Spectre looks noticeably different from its ancestors, and that's because of the screen. The new model has a 3:2 display, which is 13% taller than the 16:9 panel on last year's device,